New season, old beefs. What's good, y'all? It's your good sister Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we're talking about Karen versus Fatima round, we just gonna call it 7 since we're in season 7. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversation. And child, let's go ahead and talk about it, because I did not think that this was coming, but apparently it's coming. And I'm really just going off of Fatima at the brunch with the girls talking about Karen's baby while Karen ain't at the table. And then Karen seeing the kiki, the fun that's being had with her friends without her, with her ex's current fiance, wifey, whatever you want to call her. And then turning around and leaving, which feels like it's the start of round 7 of Karen versus Fatima versus Karen. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not a messy post or video. This is really just to talk about the state of where we're at. This is after seeing episode 1, but before seeing episode 2. Fatima has very real concerns about Zach wanting to financially provide for Karen's baby, but specifically him wanting to name her baby Zach Jr., which brings up feelings for her. And Karen, in seeing Fatima acclimating beautifully with the girls, brings up feelings for her. And when your feelings get involved, actions happen, and then things happen, which could lead us to conflict and fighting. Personally, I feel like Fatima at this bougie brunch and talking to the girls specifically about what she's talking about them with, or about, it feels messy and counterproductive. I've already made a video about if Fatima is jealous of Karen's baby. So if you want to talk about that, then you can do so on that video. I tell all my thoughts in that video. It will be linked down below in the description box. But the reason why I'm saying it's messy and counterproductive, because while I do feel like Fatima's feelings are valid around this whole Zach Jr. debacle that is about to play out, choosing who you divulge your most vulnerable personal feelings to, and basically seeking empathy, sympathy, and understanding from the woman who is carrying the baby's friends, is the messy part, is the counterproductive part, because you don't actually already have a deep relationship with 2 of the 3 girls that you're sitting and having conversation with to be able to disclose something so personal. And then these girls do have a relationship to the woman carrying the baby in question, a very deep one. So it ultimately puts them in a very tricky spot, which they clearly don't have no problem being in, because they are clinking champagne glasses and yucking it up over here. Nobody is throwing a flag on a play when Karen's baby and or womb is mentioned, as it should. If these are really Karen's friends, then not to say that you need to jump and fight Fatima at the sound of Karen's name coming out her mouth, because it's not that deep and nobody's saying that. But as her friend, you owe her a certain level of loyalty to not discuss her in a way that you don't think that she would appreciate being discussed. And I believe that the girls know that she would not appreciate her baby being discussed in this way. Yes, Fatima, again, has valid feelings about the name and Zach, but those conversations that she should be having with Zach and her best friend, who is Angela, not Danni and Sabrina. Andi, she can go either way, but definitely not Danni and Sabrina. I think that this circumstance of this brunch, it really opens the door for reopening wounds. Fatima recently, because we're going to talk about the wounds, y'all, broke into Karen's house. Karen threatened to shoot her. Karen almost dies in a fire, and Fatima is reminded just how much Karen means to Zach. Karen continues to pursue Zach while Zach and Fatima are in a relationship, which is disrespectful. Karen confronts Fatima at the law firm. Karen feels like Andi is always taking Fatima's side. Karen and Zach sleep together and conceive a child at the start of Zach and Fatima's relationship. And Karen loses the love of her life to Fatima. These are all things leading from most recent to the past that have happened over the course of time as these women have interacted and has put them at odds. In this brunch setup, this conversation that is being had, and the lack of care and intention that is also present at this particular brunch in this conversation is reopening the door to all of the feelings that come with all of those things. Yes, apologies have been made, bygones have been bygone, but when you go on in the future to do new actions that perpetuate and trigger the same feelings that things that you did in the past triggered, it means that your apology, you might not have actually meant it. The bygones that we let be bygone, maybe we shouldn't have let them be bygone, because it feels like you haven't learned anything. It feels like you're moving in a way knowing that you're going to be hurtful, but you don't care. And I don't believe that that's Fatima's intention. I believe that, again, she's just expressing herself and her frustration in the moment. And unfortunately, because she has thrown herself into this relationship and made her entire life Zach, all she has is Andi and Angela. Outside of any, like, she has nothing else outside of her relationship to Zach. She literally just has Andi and Angela, and Andi brings with her Danni and Sabrina. So I do believe that for the most part, it's a harmless thing and she wasn't necessarily thinking. But when you're in such a complicated, nuanced, conflict-ridden circumstance like the one that they currently find themselves in, you cannot afford to not think. You cannot afford to not be considerate. The same way that Zach should be considerate of you about this baby name, you have to be considerate of how you're navigating friendships and conversations with your ex's best friends. In episode 4, we're getting to see, apparently Danni is going to betray Karen. Now, I don't know the details of what this betrayal looks like, but apparently she's going to betray Karen in favor of Zach and Fatima, and that is a part of the synopsis in episode 4. I did a breakdown for that as well. I will link that down low too. Which feeds this, again, build up of the conflict, which is why I literally titled this video Karen versus Fatima round 7, because it just seems to happen. These women cannot stop being at odds with one another, and I really do hate it for the both of them, because while there is so much alike about the two, most of the time the conflicts that they have is because they are fighting with specific things about themselves that they don't accept or acknowledge, and they dislike in the other person, and I just hate it for them. In episode 1, we got to see that Karen is settled in the idea of the Fatima relationship, but also knows how jealous Fatima can be. And I think that that's a thought that's percolating in her brain when she comes in and she's about to join everybody, but then she sees what's going on. But ultimately, I feel like she also overhears what's being said. And my question is, are they going to go to blows this season over the sister circle? The past couple of seasons, the Karen versus Fatima battle has really been rooted in a battle over Zach. Who do he love more? Who do he want to be with? And while I think it's so horrible that that was the case, that was just basically the case. And now I'm like, yo, are we about to enter into an era where Fatima and Karen are battling over the sister circle? Y'all can tell me in the comment section down below, because this is literally just me processing the thoughts that I'm having. I don't have no definitive answers for y'all. I don't know where the writers are going in this regard. I really, really, really hoped that we were putting to bed the Karen and Fatima conflict, but I understand why they are not and why they're going down another road with it, because it's lucrative for the show. It brings in viewers. It gives people something to root for. It gives people someone to root against, depending on which side of this that you actually fall. So I get it. It is a way to add additional drama and conflict to this wildly popular drama. So here we are. The only other notes that I have in reference to this is that I do think that Fatima is jealous of Karen. And no, this is not coming from a place that I hate Fatima, because y'all love to run with that. Anytime I give any type of constructive criticism about Fatima, what she's doing, or how it seems like she's thinking, people want to say I hate her. I don't. She's pushed me to certain levels in reference to some of the things that I thought was beneath her, and I couldn't believe it. I'm disappointed in her more often than not, but I don't hate her. And saying that she's jealous of Karen is not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of observance and understanding, because right now I could see her having plenty of reasons to be jealous of Karen, which would help, again, put her at odds with Karen. So Karen might have beef because my friends is my friends, and I think that Fatima could have beef because she's jealous of Karen. What is she jealous of with Karen? Number one, her pregnancy. And again, I have a whole video detailing the specifics about that, so I'm not going to go into that. I would also say that she could be jealous of her new salon. And not because Fatima wants to be a hairdresser, but Fatima has nothing of her own in her life right now. The only thing that she has is Zach and all his problems and all that he comes with. She don't have her career or her education. She don't have a large group of friends and a whole full social life outside of her man. She don't even have peace of mind half the damn time because Zach got a new problem every single day. So the idea that Karen now has this complete new start, the salon looks great, and she has this thing that she owns and it's going to produce for her and her baby, but she has full autonomy over it. It gives her something to be jealous of. Honestly, I think that Danni could be jealous of it too. So again, this is not a specific to Fatima thing. I'm just pointing out in reference to human behavior, what could transpire. She could be jealous of Karen's friends, which is why she's making them her friends. Or the fact that Karen has these friends, because again, Fatima doesn't have a full social circle. She doesn't have a full group of friends. Hell, she had to get rid of a one friend that she almost bust a cap in because she was trying to sleep with Zach after she had already slept with Zach. I also think that Fatima could be jealous of how Zach regards Karen. No matter how much that Zach talks, no matter how he tries to play up the Karen is crazy card, Karen has a place in Zach's heart that is never going away, that will never change. And Fatima has to find a way to heal and make peace with the fact that Zach is going to love Karen and even Connie for the rest of his life. It just is what it is. I think that Fatima's past experiences tell her to be jealous, fearful, and even offensive. But if she trusts Zach, like she says she does, more than any other man that she has ever been with, and she wants to be with him forever, then she needs to release the defense mechanism to like repel and form this jealousy for these other women who are not necessarily active in his life, but definitely take up space in his heart. And last but not least, and probably the most controversial on my list of things that Fatima could be jealous of Karen for, and I really want to know y'all's thoughts about this one specifically. I think that Fatima could be jealous that Karen got out. Let me explain. While Fatima loves Zach to death, could part of her jealousy be the fact that Karen has seemingly finally gotten out of the mess that is Zach in his life, and now she's stuck with dealing with all that comes with it? Yes, they went through the drama, the volatility, the anger, the frustration that came with Karen being erratic and popping up and not being able to let Zach go, and all of it. Yes, it was very real. That is not something to aspire to. It's not something to be jealous of. But now we're watching Karen walk into a true season of peace, of freedom, of power, and I could totally see her looking at her like, damn, I wish I had that. Even if for a moment. She don't have to fully be invested in it. She don't have to want to break up with Zach to even have this thought. Again, it's all just thoughts. So yeah, y'all, I think that we're about to go into an era where we are getting to see Karen versus Fatima yet again. Karen might be going to battle over her friends, and Fatima might be going to battle with Karen over jealous feelings that she has for numerous reasons. And also maybe just because she could start to feel unfulfilled in that her life is solely about Zach. Let me know your thoughts about my thoughts in the comment section down below, but just remember to please keep it respectful. I get this, a team of holics like to go hard, but these are conversation points, y'all, for us to have deeper conversation and ultimately to process and heal. There are people who are living the Karen and Fatima life right now, and I hope that y'all find my videos and you're also able to process any grief or anything that you're going through by way of seeing these other characters and hearing other people's stories and thoughts. Drop your comments in the comment section down below. Give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube has picked out the perfect video for you to watch next once you're done all that, so click right here.